This is a wake up call. Hello and welcome to Wake Up Call. So, I did a small slide into the UK with my fashion choices today, and seeing as I was tired of recording with my face on, I decided to, do a little switch, make things interesting. Let you see my shoes. So today is Tuesday, and we're talking to the CEOs, the employers, the managers, and we're having a conversation with you about laws in Nigeria and how you should relate with those laws or apply those laws to your workplace, complying with the laws and regulations of the you know laws of your country. So of course I'm in Nigeria, right? And I just wanted to touch on some points that some employers tend to leave out when they hire new people. It does not matter how small your business is, it really does not matter. You have to be intentional about keeping the laws and the regulations of your organization or of the country within your organization, applying it to your organization. So of course we have the ones that relate to your employees, things like contract of employment, having the benefits and compensation within the contract, and then complying with the leave laws of Nigeria. So we have sick leave, we have maternity and paternity leave, we have discrimination, which is outside leave, we have termination of employment, all of which will be noted in your contract letter. But or in your contract of employment. But one of the two sites I came across in my research that I think will be really helpful for you is first iclg.com. I'll try to put that in text. iclg.com, and then there was this lawpadi.com, so it's lawpadi.com, and they had really interesting stuff when it comes to the laws and regulations of the Nigerian law as applied, or the Nigerian labor law, as it can apply to you. So, for example, ICLG talks about contracts, of course, contracts of employment, like I mentioned, the various types of worker. So we have in employees are not just employees. We have workers and we have employees who are non-workers. I mean, it's crazy. I did not know about that before now. I just always used workers and employees interchangeably. But of course, well, not within the laws of Nigeria. But from the legal perspective, there are two types of employees in Nigeria. So knowing that would help you, know how to determine the minimum terms and conditions of the employment based on the types of employees that we have, which is why you need an HR in-house or an HR consult. Then implied terms of contract of employment, you have trade unions, you have a little bit about industrial action. You need to know some of these things. Discrimination, what type of discrimination are unlawful under the Nigerian law, directly or indirectly, sexual harassment, defenses to a discrimination claim, remedies, part-time workers, fixed-term contracts, temporary agency workers, all of these people, maternity rights or leave, like I mentioned, then business sales. Which is, it's dynamic because you feel like, oh, I make sales, it's my business, I get all the money, but there may be variant laws as applied to you. I'm mentioning all of this so you understand the depth of information available to you in the law when it comes to your employment factors and determinants, right? Consultation rights, are employers free to change terms and conditions of employment with regards to business sale? And of course, then there's termination and all of the categories under termination. What else? I was trying to look for business interest. Okay, data protection and employee privacy. So yesterday I spoke about intellectual property for employees, which is like data protection. So from your angle, how can you save yourself? How can you watch out for yourself and your organization and your business, seeing as you're paying for the time and input of your employees? So basically that's from ICLG. That's from ICLG. Now to Law Party, which I felt is very applicable, really, really applicable. Like it's like this doing business in Nigeria legal guide. First, it starts with company structure, LLC, sole proprietorship, all of those, what do they mean? And they're constantly changing. So, for example, if you registered your business in 2016 or before 2020, thereabouts, your business operations are a tad different from what goes on right now. So it's a little bit different, but and there are requirements for what it means to own an LLC, how much of shares, the barest minimum that a company should have to be registered in Nigeria. Share capital should be 10,000 naira. Then there are documents that you need. They put some of those there. They speak about intellectual property protection, copyright, trademarks, and all of those. Patents as well, registering a patent and everything. Then they spoke about insurance. Insurance is really important if you're running a business. It does not matter how you think, oh, just a little bit of insurance is enough for me. There are compulsory, insurance products that you have to purchase as a company owner, depending on the type of business that you're running. There is group life insurance, builders liability, occupiers liability, and I love that because it spoke about public buildings. So if you have a building that you're renting or that you're using but it's not 100% used by the owner for residential purposes, there should be occupiers liability insurance, employee compensation contribution, then motor third party liability, then tax, which is another one that I loved. I love tax. The tax part talks about, and I think I mentioned that last week, I think, companies income, personal income, capital gains, tertiary education. Some LLCs don't know limited liability. They don't know that tertiary education tax is something that they have to pay. So if you're registering an LLP, you really need to weigh your options. Look at everything. Why are you choosing an LLP? Would it serve you in the end? So tertiary education, value added tax, information technology tax, it's a whole lot. And then they go on to talk about the various acts for employment. They speak about regulatory bodies, CBN, Securities and Exchange Commission, NAFDAC, the NCC, that's Nigerian Communications Commission, then National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, then SON, Standards Organization of Nigeria, and then the FCCPC, which is the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council, all of which have to do with consumption standards, communications, tech, bank finance organizations, securities, and all of that. These are things that you need to know. Now, I speak for Nigeria because I have worked in the Nigerian business sector for a little bit. I've worked with consultants, I've interned with consultants, I've done some consulting on my own part as well, and I am more familiar with the Nigerian body. So if you're from Ghana, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa, Namibia, wherever it is that you're from, let us know where you're from and let us know the laws that are operational in your country that your employers are not taking note of or applying within the country. Or maybe there's a law you wish could actually be in effect. There's a law that you think should be in the constitution, in your constitution. Just tell us where you're from, the country the country of course that you're from, and a law that you wish were in effect for you as an employee, for you as an employer, maybe to save your head as well, or something that needs to be changed, or a law that your employer is probably not taking cognizance of and you just like to call them out on it. All right, this is the little bit I have for you today. See you in the next video. I want to show my hands, so toodles. Deuces, people. Bye.